guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing good. It's been a while since I've done a sit down YouTube video, and to be honest, it feels really good to be back. If you follow me on my Instagram, over there on my stories, I had mentioned that I'm going to take a break of about 2 weeks from YouTube because the last 2 weekends I had my personal pageant preparation workshops being conducted, and also there was a short film that released, and then just a lot of projects and a lot going on at the personal front as well. And so I just needed to take some time because I wasn't going to be able to put out content on YouTube as regularly as I wanted to. So thank you so much for being patient enough and sticking around on this channel. I know I've been seeing your comments, you've been asking when are you going to post the next video, and honestly I just find that so sweet, so thank you. And now coming to the topic for today's video, I have been getting a lot of messages and comments, and there's just a lot of information going around about Miss India and pageants in general, and my inbox was honestly flooded, and there were so many questions. I get it where you would be getting all of this information from because there's so many stereotypes attached to pageantry, and so I thought this would be a good time to address all those fears and tell you whatever you've been hearing, whether it's true or not, whether it's a myth or a fact. And so a couple of days ago on my Instagram stories, I put up this question tag where you could ask me any of the things that you've been hearing about pageants, and I'll be addressing those in this video today. And before we dive into today's video, I would just ask you to give this video a thumbs up if you like the topic for today, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. The family is growing by leaps and bounds. I'm so happy to see all of you joining this channel and being a part of the YouTube family and community, and it's just really heartwarming to see all of you being so sincere and dedicated towards achieving your goals and dreams, and obviously your pageant dreams as well. If you are eligible for the pageant, and this year especially the height criteria is 5'3" and above, so if you're eligible, you have an equal chance to win as any other contestant. Trust me, there is absolutely no preference given. If they really wanted just tall girls, they would just make the eligibility criteria that. And to prove this point further, if you look at 2019 batch, Sanjana Vij, who is the runner-up, she is 5'5" or 5'6", and so I wouldn't say that she's in the tall category. The kind of responses I've been getting, like, she's definitely not 5'8" and above, and so that should prove to you that they have absolutely no preference, guys. Just take this out of your head that only tall girls are going to win, and just remove that. If you're eligible, you can win. That's it, period. And once again, that is a myth. To prove my point even further, Lakshmi Menon, Miss India Kerala 2019, was the winner of the Beauty with a Purpose subtitle this year, that means 2019, but eventually she did not make it to top 12. So I'm not going to say that Beauty with a Purpose is not important at all in the pageant. So many of you are asking me that. Just understand that if it forms such a major segment of the pageant and Miss World gives it a lot of importance, yes, it is absolutely mandatory to do your Beauty with a Purpose project, and yes, it does hold a lot of importance, but winning that subtitle is not going to give you an edge. What is important, be it Beauty with a Purpose or any other sub-contest, is that you get shortlisted to the top 5 or top 10 or whatever number they're shortlisting, because it's important to be performing well in every aspect of the pageant. That is what is important. And so if you get shortlisted and your project is good enough for the winner position, then you have a good chance of winning. So do give it a lot of importance, put a lot of hard work and effort into it. Make sure your project is scalable and is unique, and obviously I've made 2 videos about Beauty with a Purpose, so go check those out if you want to get more information about this topic. But the fact that winning that subtitle is going to lead you to win the pageant is a myth. I understand that that stereotype does exist for this field in general, not just pageants alone, but I've been a part of 2 pageants, that is India's Miss TGPC as well as Miss India, and I know a lot of contestants and friends of mine who have been a part of Miss Diva, and trust me when I say it, absolutely nothing like that. I have never faced any incident like that in pageants, and the reason that stereotype exists is because a very small part of the industry does function like that, I will admit. But one thing to remember, and the reason I feel so confident and comfortable in this industry, is that you're never forced to do anything. The stereotype is that you have to do it. That is a myth. What is true is, in certain situations, not pageants, never seen that happen, you may be given that option, and sometimes that works for certain people, no judgment there, but there is absolutely no, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do it. There are so many people who are able to be successful and just work normally like you would in any other field without having to, whatever you mean by, giving out favors that you are not comfortable with. You don't have to do that. And it's just that this industry and pageants and all of glamour related events are more in the spotlight, which is why this stereotype is so prevalent. But if you think about it, sexual harassment happens in every other field with women as well as men. And so there's no particular reason to just, defame pageants for that reason. And so that is a myth. Absolutely no such thing happens in pageants. Trust me, and just give your best performance. Ignore all these rumors, because I just really feel that if contestants start paying attention to rumors and myths, it's going to distract you from what is actually important. So no, this doesn't happen. I'm gonna tell you straight away, you do need money, but you don't need to be rich. You gotta understand that there are so many things in pageants, like your makeup, your hair, your outfits, your heels. There is a lot of things that will require investment from you. Any model, any actor, whoever starts off in this industry, yes, there is a certain and significant amount of initial investment that you have to do. And even throughout, just maintaining ourselves, on a daily basis, you have to get your nails done, you have to have your skincare treatments, you have to go for hair spas, you have to have a good wardrobe, keep your wardrobe updated. Yes, there is a lot of money that goes into this. It's definitely more than the kind of investment that you would need to do on yourself if you were just doing a regular IT job or any other job for that matter. At a later stage, maybe when you're really successful, a lot of brands want to sponsor you, all of that happens. But if you're just starting off in pageants, yes, you do need some money, but there are ways to reduce the expenses. But I'm not going to tell you that you'll be able to participate and win a pageant without spending money at all. So yes, do have some savings, or whatever your financial situation is. It's not completely a myth, but it's not completely true either that you need a lot of money. No pageant, a national level pageant, Miss India, Miss Diva, India's Miss TGPC, none of these pageants are rigged. And I'm talking about just like really good level, national level pageants. I am not speaking for the small scale local pageants. I don't guarantee whether they're fair or not. I really don't know. So the answer to the question whether pageants are rigged, absolutely not. We don't know exactly who's going to win before the finale, because a lot of it depends on how the contestants perform on the finale night on stage when the questions are given to them. Now let's talk about favoritism. And first of all, favoritism on behalf of the organization, not just in pageants, happens everywhere. Even if you work in an office or at school or college, obviously the best performing student or whoever is there is a bit of favoritism. But this favoritism doesn't just stem out of nothing, and it's not what really impacts the result of the pageant. So the organization gets to know the contestants over the period of 30-40 days, or even since the day they appear for the auditions. And so no, they don't have favoritism from day one. But as the journey progresses, if there are a couple of contestants who are just at the top of their game, it is very natural for the organization to have some kind of bias or favoritism. But that doesn't mean they can do anything to make that particular contestant win. No, that doesn't happen. So favoritism is probably just the kind of warmth that they share. And just like a teacher really likes the best performing student in class, that's all it is. And it's natural. I don't really blame the organization. We're all human beings. But at the end of the day, the organization always keeps their options open, and the results are based on merit and merit alone. This has never happened in pageantry before, that nepotism, another response that I was getting a lot. First of all, the eligibility rules of Miss India itself state that if you are a family member or related to anyone in the Bennett Coleman organization, you kind of clearly have to state that. So nepotism is not something that they support at all. And secondly, while the org may like a particular contestant or more than one contestant just based on their performance and how they've evolved and grown over their pageant journey, the final result is based on the jury, their performance on the finale night, the question that is given to them, how they answer it, and all those factors do come into the picture. So no, it's not rigged. I hope that kind of answers this question. And so again, don't be worried that the result is going to be fixed, because you have an equal chance, as I mentioned, to prove the organization wrong. This has happened all the time in pageants, that underdogs eventually end up winning the pageant. So why can't you be that person? This is a fact. Really, it is. You cannot be stepping out of your room just in your pajamas or just, in slippers or with your hair and makeup not done during your pageant journey. Just don't do that. Either you'll be staying in a hotel or a guest house, wherever, whatever the venue is. People in that venue know that Miss India contestants are staying here. There are always people looking up to you, and so I would say definitely make sure that you look like a beauty pageant contestant every morning when you step out of your room. It is so important both at national as well as international pageants. There is a certain image as a public figure at that level that you have to maintain, and being in a beauty pageant, first of all, they just expect you to be all glammed up and dolled up. And I would say that yes, it's very important. Do not compromise on your looks, and don't be that contestant who's like, it's all about inner beauty and you're just heading off to breakfast with your hair not done, just in your shorts and PJs or whatever outfit you're wearing. Don't do that. It is important to have a really decent attire and just look like a title holder every time you are in front of public, wherever you're going out in the venue, because the organization is constantly observing. If you read the rules of any pageant, it is stated clearly that the organization will be noticing you, whether you're auditioning, even around the audition venue or wherever you are. Don't at all think during any point in your pageant journey that you're not being observed and that you can just let go and be yourself the way you are at home. No, during a beauty pageant, throughout the pageant journey, you have to look a certain way and look decent, and if the title really matters to you, you would hold up to that expectation. Again, just like I said, tall girls are not preferred. Similarly, young girls are not preferred. I don't know how to emphasize this well enough. If you look back at 2017, Sana Dua was one of the top 3 winners, and she was 25 or 26 at that time. And so that should prove my point that there's absolutely no preference. While yes, Manushi was 18 or 19, but there was Sana Dua as well. So why don't people focus on that aspect as well? The answer to that is yes and no. While it is really important to be fit and healthy and have a toned body in pageants, but then skinny is not the right word I would use. It is important that you be healthy. There's no specific measurements that you have to be. If you look at our batch 2019, 18, 17, any batch of Miss India, look at all the girls. None of them are like runway skinny. That is not what beauty pageants are about, and they don't really expect that either. But yes, you do have to work out on a regular basis, because eventually as a public figure or a winner or a title holder, you are going to promote this healthy and fit image. So it's important that you work on your body and not completely let go. But then there's no specific measurements that you have to fit into this outfit, otherwise you can't win. No, that's not true. For every event, fittings do happen, and there's a reason fittings happen, because they alter the outfits, the designer outfits, whatever you're wearing for the official events, according to your measurements. Now I gotta say, this is not entirely a myth, because from personal experience, yes, I have seen that the organization does prefer sometimes contestants who have a good set of teeth and a good smile. But that doesn't mean you have to have a perfect set of teeth. There's no fixed smile that a contestant needs to have to participate or win a beauty pageant. But I would personally recommend that if you have the need to get a smile correction procedure done, or if you need braces, try to do all of those dental treatments before you head on into a pageant, because the smile makes a big difference when it comes to beauty pageants, and you would want to give your best effort and best performance the first time itself when you go there. What may happen is that you've performed really well, but your smile may hold you back from winning. That I've seen from personal experience. So if you need to do that, I would say yes, definitely go for those treatments. It's not completely a myth. The answer is yes, decently good English is required. If you go back to one of my previous videos where I've answered this question, whether or not language is important in beauty pageants, you may choose to speak in Hindi when it comes to national pageants, of course, but they also need to know that you know enough English to be able to participate and have conversations when you further go on into international pageants, because over there Hindi is not going to work. And I've discussed this in my previous video that they can't provide translators all the time. So these days, even at international pageants, they are preferring basic English is a necessity. It is all a lot of makeup and there's a lot of lighting and there's just so many treatments that the beauty pageant contestants get before the pageant or after the pageant, and which is why our pictures and videos probably look like we have flawless skin, but everybody goes through acne and scars and pimples and it's all very natural. Nobody is flawless all the time. Yes, you should be working on your skin, work out and eat healthy and drink a lot of water, but even after that, a lot of people just have very normal skin. Pores, acne, pimples, it's all very normal. There is absolutely no such rule. You will be using makeup during the pageant as well. If you watch my skin routine or acne video, you would find out that I did suffer through acne during my pageant journey as well. So no, there's absolutely no such rule about that. And so this beauty versus brains dilemma, let me clarify, both of you are wrong because you need both. Obviously, it's a beauty pageant, so appearance and outer beauty does matter to a certain extent, but at the same time, just being pretty is not enough. Beauty also takes into account the kind of person you are, your character, your personality, and obviously your intelligence as well, because you gotta answer questions, you gotta be updated on current affairs to a certain extent. You don't need to have like knowledge about everything, and also you need to be able to represent a country. That is a huge responsibility. So it's going to be a balance of both. Beauty with brains, beauty plus brains, whatever you want to call it, is what the organization is looking for, and there is absolutely no distinction of which aspect is more important because neither is enough alone. I kind of understand where this is coming from because the eligibility rules talk about never being engaged, married, or have a child before, but your virginity is irrelevant to the beauty pageant. Don't worry about that. That is not a part of the rules, and what you do in your personal life, the organization really doesn't care, but you need to have the Miss title and you cannot have been a Mrs. Presently or in the past. That is important. When it comes to Miss India or Miss Diva or even TGPC, absolutely no expenses. They're very upfront about the kind of money that you need to invest, but there are absolutely no hidden expenses. There is absolutely no preference and no eligibility rule about that. You just have to be 18 and above. Whether you're a graduate, whether you're not a graduate, whether you're studying from a government college, none of that is important. If you are worthy of being a title holder purely based on the kind of person you are, I think that is enough. Yes, education is obviously going to play a major role in shaping you into a much more well-read person who is able to communicate on a public platform, and all of that is important. But if you are able to, fulfill all those duties and are worthy of the title, no matter what your educational background is, it's not going to make a difference. The organization does not give any preference to a certain type of colleges or certain type of institutes. The kind of money that you make being a beauty pageant winner solely depends on your performance and how in demand you are from other clients. So when it comes to Miss India and Miss Diva, you obviously become a Times talent and you get signed up, you have a whole contract with them. But then again, the kind of money you make has nothing to do with the pageant or the organization. If your face sells and a lot of designers or brands want you for their projects, you will make a lot of money. If it doesn't work out, if you're just performing well in the pageant, but in the modeling industry, it's just you're not getting the kind of response that you had expected, then again, your financial situation will completely be dependent on the kind of performance that you give as a model, as an actor, or whatever profession you're doing. Just the beauty pageant alone is not going to give you a lot of money. You still have to continue to work hard in the field just like anyone else. You just get a platform and you are much more exposed, and you have an agency to help you out with. So you have a lot of things backing you, but eventually it is your hard work and performance that matters. And so that's all the myths and facts that I wanted to address in today's video. I hope you found this video super helpful and that it clarified a lot of the doubts and fears that a lot of girls are having about pageants and stepping into this field. And I know it's all very new for you, and I get that it is very normal to be scared, but Trust me on all the myths that I've cleared today. It is absolutely a safe environment and it's going to be a beautiful journey that you are stepping into, and it's going to be very empowering. I come from a very normal middle class family, not a rich background, not a lot of money. And if I can make it, and I can tell you that it is entirely safe and there is nothing to be worried about. Even I had heard all of those stereotypes. My family, my parents, all of us had our concerns. But as I went on and throughout my journey over 2 pageants and modeling and acting, I think as long as you make the right decisions and you know what you want to do in life, what kind of path you want to take, it is all very easy. There are such genuine, beautiful, helpful people out there in this industry. So don't be scared, don't believe any of the negative stereotypes, because all that is going to do is hold you back, and you should be confident and courageous enough that you will be able to handle whatever happens. As women, we face so many things on a daily basis. And so even if you ever face that in this industry or in pageants, just be confident about your own abilities and that you will make it no matter what. This just turned into a motivational video. I don't know how that happened, but it's just because I love all of you girls so much. I'm extremely protective about all of you, and I just really want to see all of you do really well. I wish everyone the very best of luck in their future pageant journey, to whoever is auditioning this year, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye bye.